that are essential to the whole nature and chain of life that are still missing and won't be there probably for any time that we can even fathom. And if you dig into the ground on the shore in that area of Valdez, you will find oil itself, not just, evaporated pieces of it. And let's look at another thing. A chemical called Corexit has been being used in the Gulf right now. And maybe we have a picture of that brown oil spill with the dead animal on it out of the Gulf, that brown oil spill. A chemical called Corexit is being dropped in to that whole area, and what it does, it's a solvent and a surfactant that kind of breaks up the oil and globulates it together, and some of it sinks and, disperses more this way and this way, deep in that. What happens is that oil like that ends up often on the ocean floor, where it's ingested by the creatures there and goes through the food chain in even greater concentrations. And some of it evaporates at the surface and leaves even more toxic chemical of the parts of the crude oil. This is very acrid, nasty, toxic stuff, this crude that's spilling into the Gulf water. You can't really go near it to smell it. You need suits to work around it. It's very toxic to anything that lives. And so this chemical is being used, and it's like this. You've got 6 of one with the oil spill and half a dozen of another with the chemical to correct it. They're both environmentally disastrous. And the chemical in there called 2-butoxyethanol, one of the chemicals, causes reproductive problems, nervous system problems, kidney problems, blood disorders, and so on. And if you breathe it, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So, and through your skin, too. A lot of these things, like the oil, goes in through your skin. Which reminds me, remember when veterans of the first Iraq War and the second in particular were complaining about how sick they were after they left that region. And I don't know if it's been acknowledged that, well, it's been acknowledged to be a syndrome, the Gulf War syndrome, but never once did I hear, at least publicly, in any obvious way, that all the burning of oil that took place and all the chemicals they were breathing from crude oil caused it. When now, if you read what this crude can do, you can see easily that this would be the first line to be thinking, why are these veterans so ill as they are? It goes right in through your skin, and they breathe that for months, night and day, as will be the residents in the area of where this spill keeps on moving. What do we want? What should British Petroleum have to do? As it stands, British Petroleum only supposedly owes $75 million in total to businesses by law. But what should happen, and they made $5 billion in their last quarter, and I'm not like President Obama, who wants to use these things always to go after, not in the sense that he does, to say, oh, they should have to pay up and stir up people against companies, even though, unlike Obama, I am not favorable to corporations in and of themselves as a structural way for society. But should it not be that British Petroleum should have to give every dollar and every billion that it has, every asset, to make good for what it has done to continue to clean up, to pay the fishermen who have lost their jobs, the tourist people who can't rent their places on the water, and all that it's causing human beings there on the coast? I thank you for listening. I hope, allow yourself some time to really feel it, and then you will have to deny it just to go on living. But thank you very much. Please.